My name is Aaron and I like to fix stuff. Today we're going to be working on this GoGo Elite Traveler Pride Mobility Products electric wheelchair. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff in the shed here. About a month ago, I picked up this mobility scooter. Somebody was giving it away for free, and they also gave me something even cooler, but that project is going to be for another time. I have a little bit of time, so I thought maybe we'd start looking into this thing. From what I can tell, it's fairly straightforward. The battery pack sits here. I do have that removed for the time being, and I'll show you why. Pretty straightforward. On, off, speed control, horn, steering. There must be a DC motor, possibly two, in the rear end for the transmission. But let's go into the shed and take a look at the battery pack. So here's the battery pack. Came with a charger. I don't know anything about these types of machines, but it was small, and like I said, they were giving me something pretty cool, so I thought I would take this off their hands as well. I figured that if we get this thing running, maybe I'll just donate it to somebody who's in need of one. But the problem is, you can see we've got power, but we're not charging. I'm not sure why. There is a fuse here. I did pull that out. It's good. There's continuity across. But I noticed when I was taking it out, it seems like the batteries are just flopping around in here. And I'm not sure what that's all about. This is where it connects to the machine. But I figured that, you know, before I spend any time really looking at the scooter itself, or I don't even know what you want to call it. Is it an electric wheelchair? Is it a mobility scooter? Whatever. I figured the batteries are probably going to be the biggest issue. So let's just zip these screws out, split the case open, and see what we got going on. Because maybe we just need to get some replacement batteries. And I don't even know what kind of batteries are in here. So there are a couple screws missing already. If that's an indication of what's going on. Like I said, just because they were flopping around in there, made me think that perhaps something's just disconnected. More than likely, they're just shot. I don't know why I can't get that out. Maybe it's got some kind of a retainer or a nut on the back side. That one comes out. There we go. So those two were missing. I just finished up a mower. You guys will be seeing that video probably before this one. I don't even know if this one's going to get published. It kind of depends on the outcome, I suppose. But I thought, like, I don't even know how much these things retail for. I'm sure they're not cheap, but I'm not going to try to make a buck off of somebody who needs one. So I figured maybe on the Facebook page or something we'd have some sort of a contest to determine a winner or a recipient don't even know if there's going to be any interest in this, but I figure there's got to be plenty of people who could use one of these things that don't have the means to obtain one. So let's just see what we get. Alright, that's all the screws. Is it gonna... Okay. I think these are just 6-volt batteries. I'd like to disconnect them first. See, that one's all cruddy. I guess they just sit loosely in here, so that's why it's flopping around. Now it's a 12-volt. I don't know if that little bit of corrosion would prevent it from charging. We've got obviously the 2 batteries. And there's just a bunch of baggies in here for battery padding. So I don't see anything obvious. There's goes from the battery to the fuse here. And then where's this one run from? There's a little switch here. I'm not sure what that does. I want to see if I can just charge one of these individually. If it'll reach. Of course, that's the cruddy one. And then I just want to see, because maybe I tried flipping that switch that was in the front and I got nothing, so I'm not sure what that would even do. Okay, we got power, but still not charging. Like, this switch doesn't really seem to do anything. I mean, I'm sure it does something, but the switch itself doesn't like click or have any detents. I'm not sure what the purpose of that would be, unless it's just to turn the batteries on and off. I suppose for the time being, I can hook these up to my battery charger, since they are 12 volts. And we'll see if we can kind of charge them manually. It's also very possible that this light is just burnt out, but that seems like kind of a unlikely issue. So we can take a multimeter and switch for ohms. So right now we're open. It doesn't matter which side you connect to. It says we're closed, and when I hit the switch, I get nothing. So I think the switch is probably bad. if that's the case, if it was stuck in the open position, it should have been getting power to the batteries, although perhaps it doesn't even need this on or off to charge it. I'm not really sure. Like I said, there's no date code on these batteries, but I would assume that's probably our issue. Just to double check, let's... Yeah, that's fine. So I think I'm gonna let these attempt to charge. We'll see. What's this here? Press circuit breaker reset. Breaker reset. It says that there's a 5 amp fuse and a 15 amp circuit breaker. So there's the 5 amp fuse. Is this the circuit breaker? That's kind of... There's literally nothing else in here. This connection down here is for where it seats into the scooter. I'm just going to call it a scooter. There are 2 nuts on here. Circuit breaker, press to reset. Okay. All right, I got the batteries in. Before I throw them in, I just want to kind of clean up these terminals. I just got some terminal cleaner tweezers. Try to get some of this corrosion off. I'm hoping that we can just throw the batteries in and that's gonna solve everything, because if that's not the case, I'm not really sure what else we can do. Obviously this doesn't take into account the drive motors or anything. This is just step 1 to get power. I couldn't figure out a way to really, you know, bypass the batteries to test the electric motor. I don't know, there might be 1 or 2. I don't know if each wheel or each side has independent, kind of like a, you know, a skid steer, or I think like an actual powered wheelchair has independent motors. But I'm not sure if this would or not. So I was reading that you can, so this is a 12-volt system, right? So theoretically you could, you know, set up a a car battery or a riding lawnmower battery and try to run it that way just to test it. But I didn't have any mower batteries offhand, which is kind of rare for me. I usually like to have at least one handy. So I figured if I was going to get a mower battery for testing, then I may as well just get the right batteries. And if that's not the problem, we'll figure it out later. But at least at this rate, if we can confirm that we're getting power out and that the batteries are taking a charge, then we can get this all sealed up and we know that this is working good. And then we can move on to the actual machine. These ones look pretty good. This one's the cruddiest one. These two, but really just this one. So I'm going to work on this for a little while. Try to clean this up as best I can. And then we should be able just to throw the batteries in and give it a test. So I'll bring you guys back in a minute after I get this cleaned up. Alright. Should be fairly straightforward. We got our positive and negative. Positive and negative. Let's plug it in and see if our light changes. Yeah, it did. So now it says, before it said power, now it says charging. Okay. So that's great. Still don't know once you're on it if this, like, you know, is like, you can see this button in the front, if that's power on or off. It said it was a breaker reset, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it would have a breaker reset and this fuse, but we know it's charging, so I'm assuming that means that we're good to button this back up. So I'm going to stuff in the padding that they had in here, just these plastic baggies, and we can get this buttoned up, throw it on the machine, and see what happens, I guess. That one's over the top. I gotta flip the whole thing over in order to get these back into place. I think that these were originally Velcroed in, the batteries, because when I undid it, or when I took it out, the old batteries, there was Velcro on the inside of the housing. So that'd be my guess. I'm sure that these batteries have already been replaced. I just want to get a couple screws started so that way it doesn't all come flying apart when I flip it over. There's only a handful of screws, and I think there were maybe 2 that were missing. So I'll see if I can find some replacements. We'll get this all buttoned together and put it on the machine. Alright, I think this just slides right into the base here. There's nothing holding it. Just kind of clips in there. And we turn it on. We have voltage. We have our little beeper. Let's take this thing for a cruise. I don't have much of anywhere to test it. Oh yeah. We're flying. Let's see, can we back up? Oh yeah. Whoa. This thing's kind of fun. I don't think it's going to work too well on the gravel. You know, we don't have off-roading tires. Maybe. Let's see what we can do. It's a little bumpy. I got this thing maxed out on speed too. So that's it. I suppose you don't really need to go much faster. It definitely cruises a little bit quicker on concrete or a flat surface, but it works. So, I don't know, I think all we have left to do is just cosmetic stuff. I cleaned up the seat and stuff before I sat down, but you can see there's a whole lot. I'm just gonna clean this up. But it runs, it drives. I've got, the batteries cost me 50 bucks. About an hour of labor. I charge $60 an hour for labor on repairs. So figure $110 into this. You know, we were lucky that somebody donated it, so I don't have to worry about the purchase cost, but I think that we're gonna just donate this to somebody who's in need of it. I'm still trying to figure out the right format, you know, what platform I want to host this contest or giveaway on. But I will notify everyone who's interested. You know, this is going to be just a local giveaway. Somebody in our region who needs help. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this project here and get ready for the next one. So until next time, thanks for watching.